This video will go through the key concepts of Unit 2.1, Introduction to Human Resource Management, in less than 10 minutes. In this topic, we will learn about what human resource management is and look at why employees resist change alongside what firms can do in response. Human resource management is all about the firm's human resource strategy and how it helps achieve business objectives. When we talk about human resources, we're going to focus on employees, who are the human resources of the organization. Human resource management has to do with recruiting and training employees, ensuring that they are fairly paid for their work and have strong relationships with management. Another key concept in human resource management is human resource planning, which is about forecasting the organization's future staffing needs and figuring out how to best meet those needs. There are a number of factors that can influence human resource planning for businesses, which will be the focus of the next part of this video. Demographics change are shifts in population patterns, such as age, gender, educational attainment. For example, around the world, birth rates are falling, which is impacting the future potential talent pool for businesses. The next factor is changes in labor mobility, which refers to how easy and willing workers are to move for work. This has two dimensions: occupational mobility, which is the willingness and ability for workers to switch from one job to another because they have the right skills and experience, and geographical mobility, whether workers are willing to relocate for work. The next factor is immigration. Workers who have a high degree of geographical mobility may be willing to move overseas for work, but this also depends on the extent to which the government is welcoming towards people moving into their country. For example, certain governments around the world are aiming to restrict immigration, while others are more welcoming, recognizing the value that immigrants can bring to the economy and society. Flexi time relates to giving employees flexibility in their work schedule. Here, employees are expected to work a set number of hours, but are given some flexibility as to when they actually work these hours. One recent example is working from home, which provides employees with more flexibility in their schedule, while assuming they still get their work done. This can provide a big boost to employee morale. The last one is gig economy. This relates to workers who work in temporary, freelance, or part-time positions through online platforms. Companies participating in gig economy include Uber and Deliveroo, which rely on freelance riders to drive or deliver. The second section of this topic relates to change in the workplace and why employees might resist change. There are four main reasons employees might resist change. Firstly, self-interest, which involves employees putting their own needs above that of the organization, and therefore they don't feel that change is necessary or beneficial. Secondly, low tolerance, which involves having limited open-mindedness to new ideas or new ways of doing things. Thirdly, we have misinformation, which relates to not fully understanding the reasons for the change. This can be because of rumors or because the rationale for the change has not been clearly communicated by senior management. And finally, we have interpretation of circumstances. Employees may understand but disagree with the purpose and intended effects of the change. They might view the change as unnecessary given things are operating fine as it is in the firm. In order to deal with employee resistance to change, businesses can take various strategies to ensure they do a good job managing employee resistance. This can include, number one, clearly and effectively communicating the change, including its rationale and intended benefits. Number two, getting agreement or giving employees ownership, which helps employees be involved in the decision-making process and feel they were consulted and heard. Number three, recognition and rewards, which involves rewarding employees who positively contribute to the management of the change, making them feel like they benefit from the change process. And lastly, appropriate planning of the change, which can help ensure that employees don't feel ambushed and have sufficient time to adapt to the change. Keep in mind that even with these strategies, there can and often is some resistance to change. It is very unlikely that everyone agrees with the firm's decision, and some degree of employee resistance to change is natural and to be expected. And that concludes the key concepts for this topic. We recommend you to use these 4 steps as part of your study routine. The most important aspects are 1. Knowing your content, 2. Understanding the response structures, and 3. Practicing case studies. Unlike most other courses, only knowing the content will only get you to a level 5 in business management. Knowing your response structures and doing a lot of practice case studies and developing the application skills are key to helping you score a level 7. If at any point you need any personalized help or tutoring or any part of the business management course, from content to response structures to case studies or the IA and the extended essay, feel free to get in touch with us via email or WhatsApp.